Hi everyone, I have two tins of pencils that lovely Gia has sent to me as a gift. These are the skin tone pencils from the Black Widow set, and we have a light tones and a dark tone set. Now these are new to me, so I thought that it might be good to swatch them out. Now I know I don't normally swatch out pencils, I normally just colour with them, but because these are more sort of limited colours and I'm not quite sure what pictures they might work with, obviously they work with skin, but anything else, I thought I would swatch them. So I'm going to open them first. They came, there was some tape on the box tin which I've removed, but there is there's cellophane on them, so I'm just going to remove the cellophane. Just take that off, and you see that we have got 12 here. I'm just going to take it out of the light, out of the camera, because it's catching the light. Ooh. They seem to be in quite a funny order. So those are the light tones. Just push that away. And here are the, sorry, it's just reflecting the light, but I've got to have the blind shut, so I need the lamp on because it is so sunny today. So we have the two lids, and they've got the same info in, so while I'm making lots of noise I'll try and read that. And it says, congratulations on your purchase of the Black Widow skin pencil sets comprising of 2 sets with 12 pencils each. There we go. A full range of colours, perfect for multicultural portraits. It says they're split into 2 to offer the lighter tones and darker tones for 24 bold and vivid skin tones, and for blending, shading, layering, and they think they have all main tones for all over the world. Right, let's just move those to the side. So here they are. I just grabbed one out to show you. We'll take this one. I don't know why, I rather like the colour. And it's called Sunburst because it's quite yellowy, and it's got the skin there, and it says, and it's got its number, but it's SL skin, whereas these are SD. So these are light, these are dark. Now what I'm quite keen to do is probably I will mix these in with my other 3 sets of Black Widows. Now I've got some pencil cases because I like the idea of mixing, you know, you can use them for other things as well as skin. Some of these pinks are very pretty, for example. We're going to swatch them out, and I'll swatch them out while I'm chattering. I've got my Ruby Charms swatch book, which I thought I would swatch them into. See, I've swatched my other ones there, so I'm going to swatch these in the right space. I've just put some paper behind the page because the ink really transfers on this paper. Okay, so let's grab our light tones. We'll just pop them over the top of the snake. Yeah, you notice I coloured a snake, but it was there, so I did it. So this one is called Sunburst. This is this one here, number 4. I think I need to come in closer for you. Now I'm out. There we go. So I don't know why they're in this sort of order in the tin, really. It seems quite random, but yeah. I haven't got to be leaning on something. I've got a book here, hang on. Let's put a book underneath. That's better. The desk isn't the best for leaning on. So there's our Sunburst. It's almost like a lemon yellow, I think. It's rather pretty. The next one in the tin is called Snow, because it's really pale. I don't know if this is even going to show up. There is a white, and I wonder whether it's really that different to the white. It's Casper. To me that looks, I think it's slightly pinky. It's very hard to see. This one's called Carrot. Oops, I'm trying to get out next. There we go. Carrot. I'm guessing it's going to be slightly orangey. That's very orangey. I find it hard to imagine me using that on a skin tone, but I'm not a big expert in skin tone, so you know, maybe. This one's called Merc. That's nice, isn't it? I hope my skin isn't Merc colour. I realise use a combination. It's quite a light, it's quite a good colour actually, to be honest. That's quite a dusky pink. And then we have Pretty Pink. This one looks really bright. There we go. It looks quite like the pig's ear colour, I would say. Let me see. I'm trying to find it at the bottom. Pig's ear. Yeah, I've swatched them the other way with the lighter bits that side on these. Yeah, the pig's ear is really quite close. That's okay. This one is called Saffron. Now, I always think saffron is yellow, but this is definitely a very pretty salmony pink. It looks slightly orangey, actually, but I like that colour. I was talking to my sister the other day, Eggshell, and she said she really dislikes salmon pink. It's really interesting. I really like it. So this is a more brownish colour. This one's called Rust. That's more slightly orangey, whereas this one is Brown Fog. I just love these names. They're so imaginative. I know they're not like proper artist names, you know, your old cadmiums and ceruleans and cobalts and all phthalos and all those things, but I just think they're so fun compared to blush, compared to those names. There we go. Couldn't find it then for a minute, because even though those names sound more professional, as it were, they aren't the same in different sets, so it doesn't always help us anyway, you know. Oops, there we go. Sherbet. I'm thinking this is going to be quite a bright pink. Wow. Oh, it's more salmony though, isn't it? I like it compared to that pink. Oops, I just throw it on the floor. Actually, it's nowhere near the floor. Fairy Floss. Such a cute name. I nearly coloured it there. That is the snowballs. There we go. So again, a very pinky pink. More like the bubblegum maybe. Okay, so that's our light tones. Cover Mr. Snake up. If we do it like that, you can see both, which might be useful for you. So the first one we have in this set is called Leather. It's almost a greeny brown as the sun just comes out to change the colour. Well, no, it's not actually. Cinnamon. Now I have a cinnamon in my Castle Arts, but this is similar-ish, slightly orangey, but quite dark. It's not that far away. Light Mocha. Slightly orangey, maybe. This one is fun. Washed Purple. Do you like that name? It's almost like a grey lavender, isn't it? Oops. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. It went in the wrong place. Olive Gold. I like the sound of that. I like yellowy olives. Again, I'm not sure about these yellows in the skin tones, but obviously it is a thing. Olive brown. There we go. Nigra. I don't know what that word means. It's very similar to the cinnamon, isn't it? Slightly darker, slightly less red. Here, chalk tone. Yeah, of course they've already got a chocolate in the. Oh, there's a dark chocolate in the scorpion set. So I guess you could use these with the others as well. You wouldn't have to use them alone. I think you would anyway, because it's very unlikely that you would just need skin tone in a picture. Greythorn. It's very likely that you would have other things to colour as well. There we go. Oh. Mud. That's quite red mud. In my garden the mud isn't that colour, it's more like that. Suede. That's quite pale, isn't it? I guess it can be used to sort of blend as well, the paler tones. This looks black. It's called Midnight. Quite useful if it's black, because my black is running out. Although I've got the dim black. I'm interested how that compares to the Black Widow black. It's not quite. No, it's a little bit greyer. It's more like a grey. I haven't got a dim black, I've got a dim grey. That's right, and a charcoal, which is quite brown. I think they are a great addition, not only to the colours I've already got, but obviously as the skin tones as they're intended to be. So we need to go and find something, I need to go and find something to colour with them. So give me a minute and we'll try them out. Right, I thought we'd have a go at Ivy. This is Ivy and the Inky Butterfly by Johanna Basford. I thought we could have a go at Ivy with these pencils. I know that Black Widows work well on this paper. In fact, I haven't found a paper they don't work well on. So let's, I've just closed my swatch book, which was a little bit silly. Let's leave it open so I can see what I'm doing, so I can see what colours I want to use. Right, now I am thinking, let's come in really close. I'm only going to do the face, I'm not going to do the rest of the page, because obviously this is a demo of the skin tone sets of pencils. So let's just, let's have a look. Let's make a start. I think that what I tend to do with faces, and I'm not that confident in skin tone yet, I tend to use a pale colour first and then build up slowly. Okay, and I am just looking at what I have got on my swatch chart, which I've put far too far away for me to probably be able to see. There we go. I think I'm going to start with, I'm going to keep her quite pale because I'm better at knowing how to colour pale skin tone. I've never actually tried to do the darker tones yet. I want to. This is blush. I want to learn to do darker skin tone, but I haven't learned yet. So I'm just going to do a light layer of this blush across all of Ivy. Not all of her, just her skin. And now what I think about when I'm doing skin is, where is it going to be lighter and darker? That's always the trickiest bit for me, in that I can't visualise things in my head. So I don't know, I can't bring up a face in my head, I've got no idea. It's quite fascinating in a way. If I try to imagine how my husband looks, I just get a blank. It's just really weird. Right, I want a darker colour now. I don't want to go really dark. I think I'm going to use this, I want a saffron. Where are you? This one. It's so pretty, the saffron, but I'm going to sharpen it because they've got these sort of flat ends. I didn't talk about the pencils in the sense they're hexagonal. They've got the colour dipped on the end and the name and number. Probably naughty of me, but because I've already got Black Widows, it didn't occur to me to do that, sorry. So I'm thinking that the edge here is going to be a bit darker. So I'm using this colour here to make a darker tone, and then I'm slowly fading it as I go towards the centre of the neck. Because if you think about it, the edge, if we want it to make it look like it's rounded, it's not flat, the edge would be a little bit darker than the middle, which would be catching the light in the centre. I'm going to go back to my blush, which I'm now going to sharpen, and go over the top of that, and then extend the colour in towards the centre. Now, something I notice a lot with skin is that the shadows are quite dark. If you look at my hand in there, that's really, really dark. It's almost like black. Not, it's not a form of skin tone at all, if you know what I mean. So under her neckline here, we might have some really dark shadow. Okay. Now, same with her face. I'm going to use the same colours. Obviously you want to use the same because it's going to match. So this is the saffron. Now where's it going to be darker? Well, I always think all the way around the edge. I usually do a little bit of darker bit, again to get that 3D look. The fact that her face isn't flat. Okay, but don't go too far in. Just a little bit. Because we have to start thinking about the shape of the chin and the cheeks. Now the chin is going to stand out there, okay? So we can put a little bit darker in there and sort of around here. And then just try and blend that in a bit like that. Then her cheeks here, that would sort of stand out more, so I'm thinking put a darker bit around the eye, blend that out like that, down here. Now some people like doing the cheeks pinker as if there's some blusher or as if she's blushing, but I tend to leave them lighter because it looks like they're sort of slightly podgy, which I think is cute. Okay, so we've got that shape slightly around here. Have some shadow under the nose, but you have to be really careful under the nose. If you make it too defined and just do a line, look like she's got a moustache. That could be a look you want, but it's not what I'm looking for. I'm going to do a dark bit around the hair, where the hair's going to be shadowing things a bit. I think I'm going to leave that gap there as if it was hair. It's not easy to tell exactly what Johanna had planned for that bit. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the blush and just blend those in. So under the chin and around there. So we can just fade that colour a bit. I'm thinking we might need a bit above the eye too there. Doing on the forehead the same as we did with the neck, so sort of bringing the colour in a bit, leaving a lighter bit in the middle. Need to do the top eyelid, a bit above there. Now the nose is quite tricky because not only does it need to look shadowy either side so we can see the shape of the nose, but also it would be lighter across the middle, so we need to use a bit of this on her nose just to give the nose itself a bit of shape, like that. There we go. Now, I was just looking in the camera because the camera shows me up the really light areas better than I can see on the actual page. Yeah, I think she's coming. Now we need eyes, and I don't have an eye colour in this set at all. And lips we do though. We could use, let me have a look. Maybe the sherbet we could use for her lips, I'm thinking. Now with lips, you might want to make them very shiny if you want them to look like they've got lipstick on. But Ivy is a girl, so I don't want her to look like she's got masses of lipstick or lip gloss or anything on. So I'm just going to put a light layer on first, and then I'm just going to think where the shadow is going to be where they're touching. And it's going to be a bit darker at the bottom. So I don't really want her lips to be really dark as if she is wearing makeup. I think I'm quite happy with them being pale like that. I am thinking though, with this dark colour, I'm just going to do a little bit on the eyelids and a little bit above, because you tend to get quite a bit of shadowing around the eyes where the skin crinkles. I'm probably thinking more of me. I'm a bit older than Ivy. Now underneath the eyes there is usually a bit dark, particularly on me. I've got really black eyes, so I'm actually going to grab a bit of this greythorn and just do a little light bit under there. I don't mean a light bit, I mean a light touch. I just want it to look a little bit greyer under there. And we could do her eyes grey, but I don't know what colour Ivy's eyes are. Do we know? I'm trying to think. I don't know if we know. So, and it isn't an eye colour apart from, well, purple. No. So I'm going to leave her there and not do her eyes unless I go and grab. I know what I'll do. 1 minute. Right, I've grabbed some other Black Widow's pencils, but what I have forgotten to do is any shadowing under her neck and that sort of thing. So I was going to use a really dark colour. I'm contemplating the Midnight, which I think I will use, but I'm going to sharpen it because I don't want to use it. I need to control over it because you can see the ends are quite fat. Sorry, that was very blurred, wasn't it? Okay, so here's the Midnight, and what I'm going to do, I'm using it really lightly. We want a shadow there. That's better. And I'm wondering whether to do a little bit along her hairline. Just a tad. There'd be some shadow. I don't think we'd have much more. There might have been a bit from her dress, like along here. But really just a tiny touch. Okay. Now I've grabbed my other Black Widow pencils and I've got some blues to do her eyes. Okay. I'm going to start with this one. It's a Scorpion pencil and it's called Blue Heaven. And we're going to put a layer of blue down to start with this one. I often do blue eyes because I've got blue eyes. Mine aren't a really pretty vibrant blue, they're quite grey. But still, right. Now I've got the Forget Me Not from from the spider set. And I'm going to just do the centre and the very edge. Same on here. And then lastly, I'm going to use a tiny touch, gosh those blue aren't they, of Galaxy Blue, again from the Scorpion set, around the outside. It will tone it down just a tad. It will make her eyes not look quite so big. There we go. Now in the whites of her eyes, they're never going to be completely pure white, and there's going to be some shadow from the eyelids. And I'm thinking maybe our skin tone might help us here. So I just piled them up, so I'm just unpiling them. I'm thinking the washed purple could be a really good shadow on the whites of the eye. So that's what I'm going to try. So washed purple. And just the smallest amount across there, down there, maybe a tiny bit underneath as well. Now right in the corner we usually have a little pink bit. Yeah, that's a good colour. I'm going to grab the rust for that. So the rust right in the corner. Don't know how much it's showing up, but it would be there. There we go. Now, sometimes with skin I use a white pen a lot to white it because I think it looks more realistic if there's no white line around. But I'm not going to worry with Ivy, I'm going to leave her a little bit. I am going to just do a few more lines on the iris with the Galaxy Blue. Often with the eye, there are little lines coming off around the iris. Just do that. Yeah. Now we have her hair. As I've got my pencils with me, I wondered whether to do her eyebrows. I don't think I can do her whole hair, but just her eyebrows. And then that's the colour. Now the spider set have got all the browns, which is the colour I was going to use. Not too dark, so I'm going to use the tarantula colour for the eyebrows. Now I'm going to fill in the bit that Johanna's drawn to start with the tarantula. But eyebrows aren't straight, they usually like grow this way, although that bit will be that way. I might just grab a slightly darker one. What's this one? This is the Huntsman. Just sharpen it. Just do a bit of Huntsman as well. She's got very nicely shaped eyebrows, unlike mine. Now for the hair strands, what I would do is I'd take this Huntsman and do the tip, and then start to fade now. Yeah, and the same here, so harder there and fade here. Then grab the tarantula, go over the top, then start to fade that as well towards the middle. Like that. And then lastly, get the Foxy Brown. There we go. I don't know if it says it on it still. Oh, it does. It's not too short. And finish off going over all of it, but still fading it right in that centre part. So her hair looks like it's shining. There we go. And I do that on every bit of her hair. So there she is. Her eyes still look very blue, don't they? Very popping out of her head. I think what I would do with that, the background behind her I'm going to do in the same colour as her eyes, but that might make it look even worse. I think, yeah, I don't know, something that's going to stop them look like they're popping. I think it's because her skin tone's so pale and her eyes are very big, so I'm not sure, but we'll see. But I think she looks quite cute. Of course, Johanna's drawn her look really prettily. So there, she is quite basic. Because I'm not a skin tone expert, I'm still learning myself, but that's how I would do Ivy. So I hope that was okay. But you can, I'm really liking these skin tone pencils. I have the Crayola ones, and they're really nice, but they're very hard. So you have to layer, which is good. But when you've got a larger face, like in a Hannah Coulson, it can take quite a long time. And I found they're really good if you're not very confident, because you can't put down a hard, heavy layer. So you build up slowly, which is really good. But I think in combination with these could get some really lovely effects as well. So there she is. I'm going to finish her off camera. I might not do the whole page. Probably will. Won't take that long. I probably will do the whole page and try and decide what to put behind her. I'm thinking now maybe the darkest blue and then the stars in a bright colour, and I think it might just work. But as you can see, she's very pale. She doesn't look quite as pale on my page as she does on the camera, so I'm not quite sure how she's coming out, but there we go. But there, anyway, that's me finished testing. So thank you to Gia. I'm having fun with these. I think I'm certainly going to enjoy messing around with them a lot more, and hopefully learning how to use them properly. But thank you for watching. Hope you have a lovely day and happy colouring.